We are about to leave to go to the airport to get on a flight to go to Washington, D.C. and then to go to Japan. We were up until 2 in the morning packing and cleaning, and then I woke up at 5 in the morning and did more cleaning and checked everything that we packed. So we're about to call an Uber in like 10 minutes and get on the road.
Okay, so do we have passports?
Yes.
Is the camera bag packed? Well, minus the camera that I'm holding.
Yes.
You got your Linzess and your fludrocortisone?
It's in my bag, I have to check. So yeah, I have Linzess, fludrocortisone, Benadryl, salt packets.
And deodorant, which is critical because they don't have real deodorant in Japan because nobody has body odor. Okay, so it seems like we're good to go.
It is time to turn all the lights off, close all the doors, and call our Uber. As we got into the Uber, the weight of leaving home for 2 full weeks to fly halfway across the world on the longest and most involved trip Robert and I have ever taken together really hit me. It was the start of a journey that would challenge us in ways we had yet to imagine.
Somebody broke the rules and is now in the screening area for her bag.
I really wanted a bagel. We both really wanted a bagel.
I guess we're going to La Farm Bakery and Cafe now.
So what is this?
This is poulet au fromage. It's a chicken sandwich from a restaurant that also has a La Bar.
Oh my gosh.
But it looks fairly palatable, so I'm kind of excited about it. I wish it was a bagel though.
Okay, you took the tomatoes off, I see.
Yes.
All right, well.
You want any oranges?
I don't want your oranges. I don't want anything from this weird restaurant.
Also, I don't know what bread inspired by North Carolina wheat means. Like, did they actually use North Carolina wheat, or?
They might have just looked at some North Carolina wheat. How is it?
Pretty good.
I got a latte that I'm afraid to drink because the germs, you know. So we're at RDU right now waiting on our flight. We've been here since about 8. It's now about 9:45 and our flight leaves at 10:45 or 10:44. So we'll probably start boarding in about 30 minutes or so. We're kind of stressed about the DC connection because we have 40 minutes for the DC connection.
And remember, you have to assume that 15 minutes before the doors close before they leave, so it's probably more like 25-30 minutes.
Really?
Yes, it's gonna be a sprint.
It's a good thing we didn't pack suitcases and we have backpacks and like a camera bag in my purse because we're going to be running. Do we know how far the gates are?
No.
Oh my god. And DC is like a bigger airport than this.
It's not that big.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Now I'm getting more stressed knowing about the details about it. Oh, I want to make this flight.
It's gonna be fine.
Do you promise?
Yes.
I got my Robert.
You might not like it, but this is peak male performance.
Put your thumbs in. Robert is very sleepy now. And we haven't even gotten on the big flight yet. We made it to DC and we are about to board our flight to Japan. Robert even had time to get a Mountain Dew Code Red for himself, so we made it in plenty of time. I was pleasantly surprised by the meals on the plane. The first meal that we got was a pasta dish, which ended up being really easy on my stomach, and I thought it was delicious. Robert had the chicken version of it, and it wasn't as good as what I had. The second meal was not good. It was a very, very soggy sandwich with turkey and cheese, and I ended up just eating a granola bar instead of eating the soggy sandwich. We were constantly checking the progress of the flight because 14 hours is a really long flight, and I underestimated how long being on a plane for 14 hours would feel. I only slept for a small amount of the flight, and the rest of it I was watching movies. The last meal we had before we got to Japan was this really overly sweet waffle and fruit breakfast. I ended up just eating the fruit and Robert ate both of our waffles for us. As we got really close to Japan, I just kept obsessively looking at our progress, and there was actually a kind of a scary situation that happened right as our flight was getting close. There was like a medical emergency on the plane that was happening really close to us. Thankfully, everyone involved ended up being okay and we were able to get to Japan safely, and the person ended up being totally fine. So that was definitely a good outcome. So we made it to Japan after what felt like a very long flight. Everything getting out of the airport was really, really quick. Like, it was a lot faster than we thought. We cleared customs, immigration, got our JR Rail Pass, and our, what is the other card? The
Suica IC card, which normally isn't a problem, but there's a national chip shortage in Japan, So you can only pick them up at the airport right now for people who are like staying short term.
So we got those, and there was like basically no line for any of it, and then that's all we did. It was just super quick. What are we waiting for?
The monorail to the Yamanote line in downtown Tokyo.
To get to our hotel. Just waiting for the monorail. We have made it to our hotel room in Tokyo. We took 2 monorails. That was what they're called, the monorails?
We took a monorail in the subway.
But we used the same card.
Yes, because it's all integrated.
That is so confusing. They felt the same to me. Anyway, we took a monorail and a subway to get to our hotel in Tokyo. Our hotel room is very cozy. We had our first little thing we didn't know, I guess. In order to turn on the lights in the hotel room, we had to put our room key in this little slot. Like, there's no switch. You put your room key in the slot and then all the lights in the hotel room turn on. And we didn't know that. So we were like, oh, there's no power in our hotel room. And Robert had to go down to the front desk and like talk to them, and they were like, just put your room key in this little slot. So we did that. This is a little slot where I had to put our room key, and it wasn't intuitive that this turned all the lights on in the hotel room. Now this hotel room is very cozy, so I'll give you the tour. It'll take like 1 second, pretty much.
And then there's this master control panel.
Oh, so you can control the lights, but not until you've put your thing in the slot.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh.
Oh, man, that's so much light.
So there's an overhead light, too. But, like, the thing is, Robert was pressing all these buttons, and when our key wasn't in that slot, none of these buttons work. So I guess now that our key's in the slot, we can do whatever we want to the lights. Can you turn the overhead light back on? I kind of liked it like that. So we can really see the whole room. See, it brightens the whole room up. We have our shoes by the door. That's one of my bags. We brought backpacks, so my backpack is here, but they're supposed to store under the bed. I think Robert put his under the bed. Can you put mine under the bed?
Yeah.
You can show the people how it stores. Very nice. And then that's the camera bag, and that's literally the whole room. We also have this like massive TV that was on when we came in and we turned it off.
Bathroom tour?
Bathroom tour. And I hate the bidet. I hate it so much. I'm very intimidated by this whole situation. The sink was really hard to figure out because this is the shower and this is the sink, and it took me a long time to grasp that. As soon as I finish filming this, I'm going to take a shower, and then Robert's going to take a shower after me. But yeah, that's the sink, so that's tricky in and of itself. Then we have the toilet here with a whole bunch of like warnings and cautions that's there.
It makes noises when you sit on it. You can tell something's engaging as soon as you sit on it.
I don't like that. How do you feel with that feature?
Kind of makes it a little more exciting.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, it gives you these instructions, like you can clean your butt, you can clean your front, you can stop it, and those are all the buttons.
You can make it pulsate, and you can increase or decrease the pressure.
Okay, well I'm not doing that.
And then I have no idea what 1, 2, and 3 mean.
This is honestly not as many options as I've heard about some Japanese toilets having. This seems actually pretty basic, thinking about it now. And then of course we have toilet paper, which I've said before doesn't flush well. Believe me, I've tried, and took a few flushes to get some toilet paper down, so that was embarrassing to me. But yep, this is the bathroom tour. So here's the thing though. Here's the thing I want to say. A lot of people in my life back in North Carolina have bidets, and they tell me, oh my gosh, Linnea, bidets are gonna change your life. We love bidets. Well, so far I've used it, guys, and I freaking hate it. The other thing about it is the toilet doesn't really like flush toilet paper well, so I don't really have a choice but to use the bidet unless I want to flush the toilet like 5 times. It's very rainy and foggy, so you really can't see that much out of the camera. Yeah, that's Tokyo. What is our plan?
Well, buy an umbrella now.
Okay, we need to buy an umbrella because it wasn't raining before when we were walking to get to our hotel. I guess it started raining as soon as we got to our hotel. So we need to buy an umbrella. We need to get some food. I'm also really dehydrated because I've just had like those tiny little 8-ounce cups of water for the past 14 hours whenever they would come through without it on the flight. And then we've just had airplane food for the past 14 hours or more now because we had to go through all that. So it's been a long time since I've had like a substantial amount of water, and then we've only had airplane food. So we definitely need some substantial food, substantial water, very dehydrated. I think we're just gonna wear these clothes, or are we gonna change? Okay, then we're just gonna go then, I guess. Get food and water and see the town. Alright, so it is blindingly bright in our hotel now because I just turned on the overhead light, but we walked around the area near our hotel. We really didn't do anything particularly special. Like, we walked around the area near our hotel. We walked around Akihabara and we got some dinner, and I personally regret the fact that I got my own entree. It was called Gyokatsu Motomura, and it was basically like the main part was this cutlet of beef that they had like fried, but they hadn't cooked it all the way, so then you cooked it yourself on these little skillets that you had at your table, and they had all these different sauces and sides with it as well, and we both got our own entree, which was definitely a mistake. I knew I wasn't feeling that up to eating, but I was like, oh, I just want to enjoy our first meal in Tokyo, and I didn't really like any component of it. Like, the sauces were kind of weird, the beef was just way too fatty for me. I don't really like fried beef at all, so I didn't like that. I just had a couple bites, and I feel really bad for wasting it, but I'm just not on the future in this trip. I'm not gonna let myself just order things so that I look like socially acceptable or whatever, because I really didn't want to eat and ordered something anyway, and I regretted it. But Robert did like it. He ate all of the meat that he got and some of my meat, and then I know he tried all the sides and the sauces. He did say though that it was like really hard to know how to eat it and like how to combine the sides and the sauces with the meat to like make it taste right, because this is like food we've never eaten before. That was that. The miso soup was the thing that Robert said was like really good. I thought it was like alright. I didn't love it, but Robert said he really liked it. So that was dinner, and then we went to like some convenience stores and just like walked around. They went to this really big store. What is that called?
Don Quixote, or Donkey as they call it here.
Donkey, and we just got, because of the rain, we got a couple of umbrellas. So we got these two umbrellas, and then Robert got some energy drinks and I got some water.
I got a Pepsi Big 600, whatever that means. Big Zero 600.
Yeah, he got this. While we were waiting in line, someone behind us asked him where he got this. So like someone liked these and wanted to buy it and was impressed we were buying it. So maybe this is really good, Robert. We don't even know. Biggest thing about the night that has been preoccupying my mind, aside from just like getting used to being in Tokyo and just like the street that we were on, it was just overwhelming. And I don't know, it's starting to really hit me that, I know this is gonna sound dumb, I wasn't really worried about the fact that we didn't speak the language until we got here, and it really like sunk in. And I've just been kind of taking in the fact that, oh, all of these signs, I have no idea what they say, I have no idea what any of these labels mean, I have no idea what any of these places are, and that's kind of sinking in. And I've never ever been to a country before where I don't speak the language, so yeah, it's kind of sinking in that is what we're doing. But everyone's been super nice and super helpful though, so that's been good. The last thing I want to say about Tokyo, and Robert and I agreed on this, I don't know, it kind of feels like very futuristic, but almost just like in an older idea of what we thought futuristic should be.
Retrofuturism.
That's exactly how it feels. It feels, and it's very, very clean. Like, Tokyo is a lot bigger than New York City and a lot more populous, but it is so much cleaner than New York City, so it's very clean. And partially, like, what makes it feel even more that way is because it is so clean. It's almost like you're on like a movie set of like a movie that was made in the 80s of what they thought the future was going to be in this year or 2050 or whatever. That is exactly how it feels. And it's honestly kind of eerie in a certain way. Robert, I felt that way, and I was like afraid to tell Robert, and I told him, and he was like, no, it totally feels that way. So that's been interesting. So yes, this is our very chill and honestly somewhat boring, but neededly boring first night in Japan. We're gonna shower and go to sleep. I'm actually very impressed that I have stayed awake this long, but I think the excitement and the adrenaline of travel kind of propelled that. I have actually, when was the last time? So I slept on the plane fitfully for the last 3 hours of the flight. Prior to that, I was up at 5 in the morning. The night before, Friday night, I only slept 3 hours. So the last time that I had a full night's sleep was Thursday night, and it's now Sunday the 13th. So I definitely need some sleep. I don't know how I'm still awake and like vibing right now, but I am.
It's 7:30 a.m. back on the East Coast.
Yep, it's 7:30 a.m. back on the East Coast. So my body basically thinks that I only slept 3 hours the past 2 nights, which I did. 6 hours of sleep in the past, how many hours? How many hours is that? I don't know. But anyway, we're gonna take a shower, talk to you guys in the next vlog. Thank you for watching. First night in Japan.